Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Joe Knows. Today I am going to discuss whether or not the dynamic effort method should be incorporated into the training of non-athletes. In other words, if you are a bodybuilder or someone who is just training for aesthetics, can you benefit from the dynamic effort method, or should you be incorporating that method into your programming? And my initial reaction, my initial response would be, it's certainly not going to be a necessity. You know, there's a reason why you don't really see bodybuilders performing, 8 sets of 3 dynamic effort bench presses or dynamic effort box squatting. Bodybuilders and people who are training for aesthetics, they're not really concerned about improving their rate of force development. Athletes need to display their strength quickly. So they want to improve the rate at which they can develop force. They want to improve their explosive power. So they are going to lift with compensatory acceleration and incorporate things like the dynamic effort method into their programming. But when you compare that to a bodybuilder's goal and how most bodybuilders train, they're doing the polar opposite. Most of the time they're controlling the eccentric portion of a lift. They're really feeling the muscle. They talk a lot about the mind-muscle connection and squeezing the muscle and getting a massive pump. They're all about the muscle, not so much heightening the state of your nervous system and lifting with compensatory acceleration and focusing on speed. But with that being said, many of you know I don't like to speak in absolutes. So while the dynamic effort method certainly isn't a necessity, it can periodically be incorporated to improve hypertrophy and really help a non-athlete pack on some newfound muscle. You just need to know how to kind of hack the dynamic effort method to improve hypertrophy, and that's what I'm going to share with you guys today. So I'm sure many of you are thinking, what the hell does doing a couple dynamic effort sets of just 1 to 3 reps have to do with hypertrophy? How is that going to help you pack on muscle? The time under tension isn't long enough. You're not really getting a pump from those sets. You're not feeling the burn. How's that going to help you pack on muscle? And I know that is the common thought process, but the problem is you're looking at it from the perspective of the muscular system. And when you do that, you're bypassing the most important aspect and why this works so well. And what I'm referring to is the central nervous system. That is the control center. And I still feel like the CNS is the most overlooked component of training in general, especially strength and hypertrophy. And when you think of the central nervous system and how important it is, then you start to realize how these dynamic effort sets can contribute to hypertrophy. Because if you just walk into the gym, you're tired, you come from work, you warm up a little bit, and then you start training, you're only going to be so strong. But if we could excite that central nervous system, if we could basically slap your central nervous system in the face, which is in essence what these dynamic effort sets are doing, if you do them properly, that is going to contribute and help you lift heavier weights or lift the same weight for more reps during subsequent exercises in that workout. And I could give you 100 examples of this, but I'll just give you one from a few weeks ago. I went into the gym on my second upper body workout of the week, which is an upper body hypertrophy workout. And during that workout, I started with dumbbell floor presses. All right. And on that given day, I wanted to work up to a max weight and then hit 3 sets of max reps with that weight. And on that given day, during week 1 of this training cycle, I hit the 130-pound dumbbells for 10 reps on my first set, 8 reps on my second set, 7 reps on my third set. And if my math is correct, That is 25 total reps with 130 pounds. Now, fast forward to the next week, only 7 days later, I do that exact same workout, but I decided to start with some dynamic effort barbell bench presses with chains. All right, I think I had just under 50% of my 1RM on the bar, plus 2 chains aside, and we did 5 sets of 2, focusing on pushing as hard and as fast as we can during the concentric portion of the lift. We hooked the barbell up to the tendo unit, and the goal was to get faster on each set. So we ended up doing 5 sets of 2, and then went into the dumbbell floor press sets. And I used the same exact weight, 130-pound dumbbells, but on this day, I got 13 reps on my first set, 10 reps on my second set, and 8 reps on my third set. So if you do the math there, that's 31 total reps with the 130s, when just 7 days prior, I got 25 reps. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out if I could perform 6 more reps with the same weight on a given exercise week after week, that is going to contribute to me packing on some muscle. You know, in this case, packing on some muscle on my pecs, my shoulders, and my triceps. And I could give you example from years ago. I remember being stuck at 29 reps on the 225 bench test when I was preparing guys for the NFL Combine. We would always have contests and see who could bench 225 for the most reps. And I was stuck at 29 reps for years. And it wasn't until I switched up my warm-up and I went from a traditional warm-up to dynamic effort benching with bands as my warm-up. And that's when I got over the hump and I hit 30 reps for the first time in my life. And I did that after performing 5 sets of 3 dynamic effort bench presses with bands. I believe I had about 40 to 45% bar weight plus band tension, 5 sets of 3, about 30 to 45 seconds in between each set, maybe up to a minute. And then I went in the 225 test and I PR'd. So I have numerous examples of that. It works great for lower body as well. You know, you could perform dynamic effort box squats with bands or chains. You could do some box jumps. You could do some vertical jumps and then go into exercises like goblet squats, Bulgarian split squats, reverse lunges, you know, more of a traditional hypertrophy set and rep scheme. And again, I promise you'll be able to do a little more weight or a few more reps in those accessory exercises after you fire up the CNS first. So just to conclude and give you some practical application, basically you are going to cut down on the volume that is traditionally recommended by guys like Louis Simmons when performing the dynamic effort method. You know, he recommends 10 to 12 sets of 2 reps on dynamic effort box squatting and generally 8 sets of 3 on dynamic effort benching. We cut that down to 5 or 6 sets of 2 to 3 reps, just because we're not so much looking for the training effect of improving our explosive strength. We're just using the dynamic effort method as a means to, for lack of a better term, slap the CNS in the face.
What? Slap!
Wake up so we can handle heavier weights and or more reps for our accessory and supplemental lifts. So cut down on the volume, but we're borrowing from the dynamic effort method just enough to excite the CNS without frying ourselves out before going into the rest of our workout. So give that a shot. I recommend a cycle of 4 to 8 weeks. You don't have to do this all year long. I actually don't recommend doing it all year long because the dynamic effort method could be stressful on your joints. Couple weeks out of the year and watch what happens to your physique, and you let me know if you pack on a little extra muscle when you basically hack the dynamic effort method in this fashion. So give that a shot. Let me know how it works for you guys. And as usual, don't forget to subscribe to the channel because I got a lot more Joe Knows videos coming at you. Thanks for watching, guys.